What's the deal, beauties? And welcome back. It is Thursday, 6 p.m. So you already know what time it is, okay? It's time for the Tatted Beauty Podcast with your favorite Tatted Beauty, Alasia, on the ones and twos, okay? And before I begin, like, subscribe, share, comment, okay? Get engaged. You know, I see people watching, and I'm very appreciative of that. But let's engage in the conversations a little bit. You know, I wanna pick you guys' brain a little bit. You know, see where your mental is and where you are on your journey. You know, I would love to interact with you guys. You know, on that level. I do see that a few people have been commenting and stuff like that, and I'm definitely grateful that I can help in any way, shape, or form, because this journey they call a spiritual journey or a life journey or whatever kind of journey you want to call it, label it, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But just keep pushing to the people who do continuously watch every week, you know, or when you do have the time to keep pushing, okay? Now, getting into the business, all right? Now, some people might say I don't have a lane to really talk about what I'm going to talk about today, but I do, okay? Because this is all, again, some of it is, you know, real life things that I've gone through, but some of it is opinion based and things that I feel like, you know, that are my opinion, basically. That's how we're going to leave that, okay? Now, episode 16, we are getting into marriage or life partner. Okay? Now, throughout this entire 40 minutes, whatever hour that we are going to be, you know, speaking on the subject, I really want you to think about that, you know, even if you are married, because even in marriages, sometimes you still don't know your partner and you still don't know what you want. And I'm going to explain all of that, you know, and that's what causes a lot of other traumas down the line added on to what we already have, you know, from childhood, from teenage years, from college years, or whatever. Now, let's just get right into it, okay? Now, I have seen healthy marriages. I have seen toxic marriages, and I'm talking about the marriages in my face, not just things that I've watched on TV. And I've also experienced watching, you know, different relationships on TV, whether it be a documentary, whether it be a movie, etc. So I've had an idea of different types of marriages there could be, you know, and I definitely applaud the people who grow with their partner and not against their partner. You know, they say grow with me, not on me. And that's a true saying, you know, and marriage takes that. Marriage takes commitment, compassion, understanding. You know, you both go through these changes that you probably wouldn't even imagine. You guys both lose people throughout the relationship, you know, people that you've met going in the relationship. People's feelings change throughout the relationship. The husband or the wife may want to experience more things sexually in the relationship. It's just a lot of things that coincide with marriage, you know, and a lot of people want that, you know what I mean? Well, that is until they stumble or they hit a brick wall. And a lot of the times people hit that brick wall and they stop. And not for nothing, I feel like if you do choose marriage, you know, that's something that takes a lifetime of commitment to change, because you as well as your partner, when I tell you, I've watched my mom and my dad go through so many changes in their relationship, you know what I mean? And of course they had arguments in front of us, so yeah, there was a lot of times where we would hear a lot of the concerns that they had in their marriage. And a lot of the times my dad's concern was the fact that my mom wanted to be out, you know, but it wasn't that my mom wanted to be out. She just wanted to enjoy herself, enjoy her accomplishments. You know, my mom has gone through a lot herself, and at one point in time she felt like she couldn't even go out and celebrate her birthday, you know. and she felt like in order to, you know, be, I guess, submissive in a way, or to honor her husband, she didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Or didn't make plans, even if that meant he didn't make plans either. And that hurt, seeing my mom not celebrate her birthday. You know what I mean? It was like, dang, you don't even want to go out and celebrate a birthday. I mean, at one point it did, but like I said, in marriage, it changes. People's feelings change. All those emotions change. So I say that to say, really ask yourself, do you really want to be married? Yes, we all go through the honeymoon phase, or some of us go through the whole marriage thing because we have children with people. And I feel like that's where a lot of people mess up as well, because even though you guys can be good at co-parenting, sometimes marriage ain't because I've seen that go wrong too, getting married because of a child, and then it's like you're only staying married because of the child. So that's where infidelity comes in, and that's where cheating comes in. People get bored. You know what I'm saying? I've held conversations with married people, and I used to ask them, what's the difference? And they would say, nothing but a piece of paper. Nothing but a piece of paper. I mean, what do you mean? That back in the day, things were literally built on love. So how do you say, in this generation, it's just a piece of paper? You get what I'm saying? I guess I got an old soul, you could say, because I really want that old love, that old Luther Vandross, you know what I mean, Smokey Robinson kind of love. I really do, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get it, but hey, that's here nor there. I'm gonna get it. Let's not even say I'm not gonna get it. We're not gonna speak that, okay? I'm gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Okay, whoever is out here on their spiritual journey or their single journey, it doesn't even have to be spiritual, it could just be a self-love journey, just hold on. You're gonna align with your person or the people you need to align with, and don't rush it, because that's another thing I feel like people do in marriages, and that's why I feel like it has and it is taking me a while. I was engaged. You know what I mean? And not to say that I wasn't ready to get married to this specific individual, because it wasn't that. It was just the fact that there were a lot of things that were missing emotionally, you know what I mean? Spiritually in the relationship. Not to say in her, but as a unit, you know what I mean? We just didn't mesh well, with a lot of things. We just clashed with a lot of things that we both saw fit, and that's what I say to a lot of people, even in the engagement phase. You know what I mean? Don't rush to set a date. I know people get eager and they want to set the date, and most times it's the woman. We're not gonna say it's not, because it is. The women most of the time are the ones that's in the rush to set the date and get everything handled and just tie the knot expeditiously. You know what I mean? We're not even going to beat around the bush with that one. But I feel like in that time, and a lot of people do, I'm not going to say a lot of people don't, I feel like you should take that time to get to know each other a little better. Excuse me. I feel like you should get that time to get to know each other a little better. I've seen some people, if you do have a pastor, they go to their pastor for therapy before the marriage, for guidance or whatever, or the pastor that's going to, preach at the wedding. I've seen instances where that has happened, or family members, and that doesn't go very well sometimes either. But if you do have a family member that you can trust that can mediate the situation, however you need to spin it, or if you guys are strong enough to do it by yourself, then do that. I just say mediate the situation, and find every flaw, find out everything you need to find out about your partner, because you don't want to get in these marriages and tie the knot and then find out that they are a cheater, that they are a woman beater, that they are a rapist, or they're a scam artist, or anything, an ex-con, a murderer, something, anything. Because I've seen a bunch of stories like that too, where you get into these marriages and you never knew that this guy had a whole rap sheet about as long as your arm, love. And then people look at themselves and are like, well, how didn't I know? Clearly you weren't paying attention enough. And that's where the saying love is blind comes in. Because my sister used to tell me all the time, you watch a lot of murder, death, kill stuff on TV. And AKA the ID channel, I watch a lot of CSI Miami, a lot of Law and Order, etc., etc. But I tell her, it's not necessarily murder, death, kill stuff. It had some real interesting things that they used to have on the channel. You know what I'm saying? Until this day, I still tune in, and they have a show on there where it's like wives murdering, their significant others. And I'm talking about they are so deeply, madly in love with these people, and they do not know their other side, because they do fall blind in love with these people and don't take the time to want to even get to know them. Because sometimes, the heart wants what it wants, and sometimes we're naive. We're naive. We don't want to take or see the red flags when they are being given to us, because I look at these shows sometimes and I'm like, but you didn't see the red. Never mind, because then I gotta understand that I've been in that situation where it was a red flag, but it was kind of like okay, it's early in this, so maybe I just need to pay attention more or something like that. But it was like, nah, that was a pure red flag that I should have paid attention to. You know what I mean? And like I said, I feel like in a lot of marriages that I've seen on TV, that I've seen in person, I feel like people don't really know their partner that well. And it's safe to say that because we do have a lot of people who get divorced. A lot of people who get their marriage annulled in a year. How do you go from madly in love with someone to not even caring after a year? So it's safe to say you really gotta be really sure when you're getting married to a certain individual. You know what I mean? And a lot of people might say, oh, well, that's doing too much, that's doing this, that's doing that. But I'd rather say be safe than sorry. So I say, if you do have a pastor, you do have somebody, a therapist, psychologist, somebody that you can sit down with, you and your partner, that you can both sit down with and just talk about things, things that make you tick. And I'm talking about literally get down to the nitty gritty, so that when you do get married, none of these things have to become a problem. None of these insecurities pop up. But I feel like not enough people are willing to sit with those demons so early in the game. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people wanna trick people, I guess, in a sense, to believing that they're this person until they actually get them, because I've seen that too. AKA where babies come in. I feel like a lot of women who are married sometimes plant babies on dudes, because a lot of men hold up to the standard of I'm gonna get married to the woman that I have a child with, and that doesn't end very well. I'm pretty sure we've seen episodes of that too. You know what I mean? And I'm scared. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm a little nervous of marriage. I do want to get married, but like I'm gonna reiterate, I just feel like right now I want a life partner, because even though, most people may say the age that I am, I should figure, listen, I know 50, 60, 70 year olds that still don't got it figured out. And everyone is a work in progress. You know what I mean? And I just feel like at this point in time, I just want somebody to build with, someone to add to me, and I add to them. I'm still learning. I regret nothing. I love hard, so I want somebody that understands that I don't want anything serious, but I know that I'm very loving. So that's another reason why I stay away from certain situations, because if you are a very loving person and you have a very loving spirit about you, people fall in love with you real quick, real fast. Okay? And sometimes it's because they need your healing. You know what I mean? And that's something that I'm becoming accustomed to, and another reason why I am not on the dating scene right about now, But again, if I had to choose, I would say I would want a life partner right about now. I'm, like I said, a little nervous. About getting married, because not because I can't do it, it's because I am not in the field of watching someone change on me and not with me, and try to fight with me, instead of fighting against me. If I made sense to it, because I've had, and I'm pretty sure men and women have had that situation where they just watch their partner change on them. It's like, dang, we supposed to be doing this together, and it's just like you kind of like giving up on me. And I feel like that's what happens in marriages too. And that's why I say, think about that question. Like, would you rather marriage or a life partner? Again, to the people who are in marriages, you can always rethink that, and I feel like a lot of religions have made it so that we have this idea in our minds that we, till death do us part, till death do us part, till death do us part. And yes, that's what you're supposed to honor. But at what cost? At what cost? Mentally, emotionally, physically, you know what I'm saying? Financially sometimes. I mean, at what point do you walk away? When you have completely nothing, or when you are in a casket? Because I really need a real clear answer on that, because yes, you do have some people till death do us part. They ride it out to the very, very end, which is hence my grandmother and my grandfather. They had, I'm going to get it, my grandmother and my grandfather, which was my mom's parents, they had a love-hate relationship. Like, when I tell you a love-hate relationship, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, because we're going to save that for the Isn't It Shady segment, because y'all are going to crack up. But this is why I say, I've been around healthy marriages, toxic marriages that have held on to the very, very end, and I've just come to the conclusion that, like, again, I've never been married, so I can't say that it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? But going through all the connections that I've had with different types of people and getting to learn myself, I can honestly say that, life partner is for me. And I say that also because I seen this post, and I gotta read this to y'all. I gotta get my phone out, because this blew my mind when I seen this. I couldn't believe it. It says, dying wife asks husband if she can have sex with her ex one last time. I'll wait, because There's no way, you know what I mean? Like, you expect for your husband to want you to have sex with your ex as your last dying wish. Do y'all see what I mean? Do y'all see what I mean? Like you are on your deathbed and your last dying wish is to lay down with your ex and not even your husband, the person you got married to. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes, okay? I would never want to feel like, I was in this commitment with someone, which was supposed to be a lifetime commitment with someone, to in the end, your last encounter, your last sexual, physical encounter with someone, wants to be with your ex. That gotta hurt. That really gotta hurt. Like, wow. I don't know how long they were married. I didn't get into all of that or whatever. I didn't even read the article. I literally just screenshotted the headline, because that headline alone just was like, what? How do you even feel so comfortable to ask something like that? And that's why I say you have to learn your partners. You understand what I'm saying? Because if that conversation would have been had earlier, not to say that she probably would have said it a little earlier, but you would have found out, or I'm pretty sure he's seen it. I'm pretty sure you've seen the signs or whatever of your wife drifting away, or something wasn't connecting along the way. And I feel like we ignore that too in relationships. But have those conversations. Go to therapy. Okay? Seriously, because it's not that serious for you to stay in these connections if you're just messing yourself up mentally in the long run. You know what I mean? Or if you just have to sneak around to get the happiness that you need, but you're just going home to your husband. Why? Because he got good penis or because he got money? Come on. Come on. You're stunting both of your growths, and I've been the person stunning someone's growth, and I've been the person growth who has been stunted. You know what I mean? I've been on both sides of the fences, and it's not, either side, it is not good to be on in any relationship. It doesn't even have to be a marriage. It can be a partnership too. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to grow with that person, grow with them. Because again, life takes us through so many changes. In a couple of my relationships, I lost a couple of people. I believe it was half an hour before my 21st birthday. You know what I mean? And I did not know. I mean, I knew what it felt like to lose somebody, but like, it was just like, bro, like, I literally just spoke to my grandmother like maybe half an hour ago. And it was just like, what's happening right now? And in the relationship that I was in at the time, she really couldn't understand why I was so distant. Because again, I was young, I just turned 21, and she was just like, why do you want to be around your friends? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? And I'm just like, bro, like, I didn't even answer my phone. I didn't even care at that point in time. You know what I mean? And instead of her being compassionate and trying to understand what I was going through, she ghosted me. Yep. Straight just ghosted me. But I had a support system that was out of this world. And they're still in my life to this day. My best friends, love them to death. So it was easy for me to maneuver through that. But as time went on and as I got older, people change, attitudes change. We live in the hood, okay? So we're all living in survival mode. So over time, a lot of people that I actually grew up with, that I did, later on come back in contact with, that I wind up having, relationships with, whether it be a friendship or romantic relationships, the mindset was different, and it just caused tower moments. It just caused, let's just say, choose the energy that you want to be around wisely. Okay? Um, because again, we all go through these changes that are undescribable. Sometimes we can't even explain it. You know what I mean? I actually was in a relationship, and one of my partner's friends randomly, I'm talking about on Christmas, randomly got into a car accident. You know what I mean? And in that very moment, I had to put what I was feeling to the side, because we were having, a little bit of relationship problems at that time. I did have to learn how to put my pride and my ego aside to be there for her in her time of need. And I feel like if I am speaking to anyone that does have a issue with putting their pride aside, because I've had that issue too, where a lot of people don't know how to put their pride aside, where it's like, I don't care. I don't care about none of that. Oh yeah, people die every day. People, you gotta be empathetic. You gotta be compassionate to other people's, traumas. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not willing to take on all of that, and if you don't have that empathetic mindset, outside of relationship, it's never going to work in a relationship, because you're constantly going to be trying to get this person to feel, and they're not going to feel if that's not how they feel. Okay? Stop forcing stuff. But you already know what time it is, okay? And I could not wait for this segment. I'm letting y'all know right now, I could not wait for this segment, okay? Let me get the shades out. You already know. Shades out. It's time for Isn't It Shady, baby. And this topic of Isn't It Shady, okay? We are getting into my grandparents, okay? We're getting into, this is marriage versus like partner. And this is why I say, I don't mind being married, but I've seen the weirdest things happen in marriage. So anyway, long story short, my grandparents had a love-hate relationship, okay? These are the first two married couple that I have seen sleep in two different areas of the house. My grandfather slept downstairs next to the living room. My grandmother slept upstairs. They drove two separate cars to church, but attended the same exact church. They went food shopping at different times and had two different sides of the refrigerator. Okay, so two things of milk, literally. I believe the left side was my grandmother's and the right side was my grandfather's, okay? And they lived like this since I could remember. I don't know how long it was since my mom, but I promise you, I was like 5 or 6 remembering them doing this. You know what I mean? And I used to ask my mom, well, how do they love each other if they can't stand each other? Like, I'm talking about they never ate dinner together. My grandmother would still cook dinner for him. But she would tell him, Herman, dinner's done. He would come in there, get his food, because she wasn't bringing it to him. He would make his plate, go in the living room, sit down and eat. You know what I mean? And I used to look at them like, well, what's happening? Like, so yeah. Isn't it shady that, they were married, but they act like they could not stand each other, up until the day my grandmother passed, and then my grandfather passed 2 months after her, and they said it was from a broken heart. This is the diagnosis from the doctor now. But God rest both of their souls. My grandfather was a World War II veteran, I believe. Yes, World War II. So kudos to my grandfather. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to my grandmother. They, I can honestly say, were to me, they were the definition of unconditional love. It wasn't about the kids, because I've heard a lot of people, and my mom used to say this at one point, I stayed because of the kids, and we've heard it on TV too. If we wanna get real into it, Love and Hip Hop, we all seen it. Amina, Butterfly, and that whole situation, in it for the kids. And sometimes that can hinder you too, because it's like, are you really in it for the kids? Because your kids get 18 and you still be together. So is it really for the kids? So I can honestly say my grandparents really loved each other unconditionally, and I felt that. You know what I mean? Even though they had this animosity toward each other, and I don't know where it came from. I really don't know where it came from. But you could feel the love. You could, you know what I mean? They had their moments, you know what I mean? And I am very grateful, seriously, that I was able to even experience that kind of love, and that kind of sacrifice, because they made a lot of sacrifices to keep their marriage together. My mom has told me stories of how she has another sister, aka grandpa was a Rolling Stone, you get what I'm saying? And not to say that I'm for the cheating thing and having kids out of the marriage and stuff like that, but love was different back in the day. So that's another thing that I gotta reiterate too. Love was very, very different. Um, Before me, after me, the 80s, 90s, it was very different. And I'd say that because music was very different, sceneries was very different, the atmosphere, the environment, everything was just very different, so just pick your partner wisely if you are going to get married. If you do choose, marriage, for the people who do want to get married, really, really fast. Because there's some people who are eager to get married. And I was that person, so eager to not get in relationships, but to find my partner. You know what I mean? And it wasn't necessarily a life partner, because I didn't even really get into that whole breakdown, until about, I say about 2 years ago. I started to really, not really think about it. I say, it's been a year. So I guess I'd say right before I got engaged. So this was like February 2022. Yes. Or 21. No, 22, I think. Yeah, I think 22. It was before, I wound up getting engaged. I was just thinking to myself, I do want to get married, but do I want to rush into the process? You know what I mean? And it had nothing to do with her per se. Yes, the situation was very stressful. So it was just like, I knew eventually it wasn't going to be a healthy situation. And I used to actually reiterate this to her as well. It wasn't a healthy situation to be in. I just felt like both of us needed time to heal from a lot of the things that we don't even really know that we're still healing from, a lot of the things that we don't know that we're still dealing with, from past relationships, from our parents, from what we haven't been taught, from where we think we should be, just a lot of things, and I found myself by myself, because I wasn't ready. I can honestly say that I wasn't ready for marriage. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of my flaws. I saw a lot of the things that I didn't even like about myself. And they say, it's real growth when you get sick and tired of yourself. So in saying that, when thinking about if you really do want to marry a person, really think about if you're marriage material. Not necessarily if, you want to marry this person, but am I marriage material? Because sometimes we can say that to ourselves, but then we get in these relationships and then our partners wound up, teaching us or showing us, that we really weren't what we thought we were or what we were prepared for. You know what I'm saying? And if you do have a partner, if you do have somebody that's willing to do that with you, then do that. If you can do it in a marriage, by all means, go ahead, but I have seen that go sour And I just want to ask, how does that go so wrong? You know what I mean? When you are married and it doesn't work out. And I'm not even speaking of cheating, because sometimes cheating isn't even a thing in the beginning. You know, that takes a while for that to happen. You know, people get in marriages and they don't dress the same anymore. You know, women, they stop becoming appealing. You know what I mean? Even in relationships, before you even get married, sometimes you move in with somebody and now all of a sudden you look crazy. And I say, if you're gonna get into these situations and you know you're not going to keep up the same energy that you came into this situation with, then don't even start it. And like I said, if you've been the one who's been trying to give the information, or if you've been the one who has been talked to in that way, you know, either side that you have been on, it's growth. You know what I mean? It's corrective criticism. And a lot of people don't know how to take that. And I feel like when we are in relationships, that's why a lot of them fail too, because we don't know how to take that criticism from our partner. You know, because we get into this mindset of, well, you're supposed to take me flaws and all. Yes, you're absolutely right. But if you're not willing to grow, or if you're not trying to change, or at least begin to make a transition away from the person that you don't want to be anymore, away from these behaviors that you don't want to be anymore, then why should I stay? Why should I fight for you if you're not even trying to fight for yourself? You know, and this goes far outside of money, because a lot of marriages are built on money. So if I'm speaking to any gold diggers out there, be careful, because you're never gonna truly find real love. And if love isn't your end goal, I don't see how you love. You know, I'm gonna say that again. If you're out here using people and you're not in these relationships for love, how can you possibly show love in other places? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I really don't. But people make a living from it. People actually do get into these marriages with these wealthy people, whether it be a man or a woman, because I'm not putting the sex on it. But you get in these relationships with these wealthy men and women, and later on down the line, when you do find out they only took you for your money, how does that feel? Or when you do get into these marriages and you do have kids with these individuals, you know, and it doesn't work out because they've cheated, you know, because they couldn't be honest with you in those times. You know, some people gain weight in their marriages, and I don't think that's fair either. And that's why I say I want a life partner, because I'm a person, not to say that I'm constantly changing, because no, I'm not constantly changing. But we as human beings, every day we have different thoughts. Our bodies change, you know, women for sure, every month, you know, we get bloated. We go through mood swings and stuff like that. And I just need someone that's willing to grow with me through all those changes and not judge me, you know, and not shy away from it because they don't understand. You know, somebody that's willing to stay and understand and not fight with me because I can't understand. I can't even understand what I'm going through. You get what I'm saying? I want a life partner. I really do. Yes, I'm not a promiscuous person. I've never been that. I can have a situation with someone and not veer off with other people. So that's what I mean by life partner. Okay? Someone who is going to stay committed to me and only to me. You know what I mean? But we don't really have a paperwork. You know what I mean? I would love for rings to be in a situation, but I don't want it to be a marriage thing where it's like we have to hold each other to this standard of we're never gonna fuck up. You know what I mean? I don't want us to hold each other to the standard of a piece of paper. You get what I'm saying? Because there are going to be times, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people in marriage can tell you there are going to be times where you're going to go against some of your vows, if not a few of them. You know, some people break vows before they even say I do, which is crazy to me. And why would you even get married after that? But that's not my business. Because again, I'm not in the married crew, so I can't give my full facts on it. But I'm gonna give you, you know, my opinions, what I've seen, and what I don't want for myself. Okay, so if I am speaking to anyone who is in a relationship, who is, you know, engaged, or who is thinking about marriage, or anybody who's thinking about a life partner, because this goes for all of that. You know, just learn your partner, learn your triggers, learn their triggers, learn what turns them off, what turns them on, and constantly just keep building with each other. Constantly keep the spark going. You know what I mean? Keep the kid alive, basically. You know, a lot of people get in situations too, and they become just so strict, almost. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying be a kid for the rest of your life, because there does have to be some kind of level of maturity that comes with the situation, of course. But don't become so stuck up, basically, you know, that you don't live life. You know what I'm saying? That you become so consumed with business and, you know what I mean, just making money, this and that, that you forget that there's a part of life that will never get old, which is your youth. As long as you're feeding it, you know what I mean? And that goes for both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get into these relationships, just understand there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, there's gonna be a lot of changes. But it also takes the right person. You know what I'm saying? So I keep saying standoffish because I am. I really am. I'm not scared. I'm just standoffish because there are a lot of people who I'm trying to say it in a nice goddamn way, but there's no way to say it. A lot of people are assholes nowadays, and a lot of people don't value people. You know, I heard this saying. Monica said, you know, a lot of people fumble things of value, and they mean people. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be that person to keep fumbling people. You know what I mean? And that's why I say I just want a life partner. I really, really do. Somebody that I can just grow with, to add to me, to just understand me inside and out, my goofy side, my serious side, my sad side, you know. And no, I'm not saying I want to trauma bond with anybody, because I need someone who is on the same journey as me, you know what I mean? But who can also add to me, because I'm also in a learning phase as well. So everything that I am speaking to you guys about is actually teaching myself as well. So I'm ministering to you guys, but I'm healing myself at the same time, because I write these things down, yes, but speaking them out loud forms another energy. You know what I mean? And I'm just very appreciative that I'm able to be the light and be a vessel for anybody who needs this, because I'm telling you right now, we're living in a world of shallowness, and a lot of people are getting left for I don't know, I guess you could say people who the other person thinks is better, whether it be look wise, money, or whatever the case may be. But sometimes that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. A person's exterior, what they look like, what they dress like, their bank account, doesn't amount to what's in here. It really doesn't. I have surrounded myself and I've been with people who've had money and their heart and their personality was trash. Like trash. You know what I mean? But I have seen not so attractive individuals, or the person who may not dress as fly. And I've actually dated people like that because of what was in here. And I'm telling you right now, people used to be like, yo, Lay, why you dating her? Or how you end up with this person? And it would just be like, yo, bro, it's not about that for me. You know what I'm saying? And a few of my relationships, I haven't had a lot of relationships, so let's just start there, okay? But in my relationships with women, should I say, a lot of them felt like I was trying to be bossy, I guess you could say, in a sense. But it wasn't that I was trying to be bossy, because again, a life partner or someone you deem that's going to be your person, I feel like you should give them some kind of guidance if they're not growing in certain places, if you know what to do. Not necessarily telling them what to do, because it wasn't necessarily I was trying to tell my partners what to do, but I would pay attention. We would have certain conversations. If you said you didn't do this when you were a child, or if you've never experienced something, or if you have a certain idea, or whatever the case may be, if I'm trying to, or if your partner, so let's speak now in third party, if your partner is trying to teach you something that you don't necessarily know, don't get frustrated and then push them away, because that happens a lot too. People push their partner away because they feel like they know more, or they feel like, oh, it's impossible for you to know more than me. Because I'm telling you, bro, y'all men sometimes are disgusting in relationships. Like, horrific. Okay? And I don't even know how some of you end up in relationships, But I hope the women wake up one day, okay? And I ain't even gonna get into all of that, because women, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. We gotta value ourselves a little bit more. We have to take our power back. We have grown up in a society where everyone feels like they gotta be married, they gotta be in a relationship, they gotta, and yes, we all want that. We all want somebody to love. I'm not sitting up here saying that I don't want nobody to love. Hell, yes I do. Sick of being single. Okay? I'm sick and tired of it. But I'd rather be single and keep learning and keep loving on myself, so that when my partner does come in, I know exactly what I need to do, when adjusting to whoever it is that I'm getting to know, or my partner, whatever the case may be. We're going to be A-okay. We're going to be A-okay. All right? Just as long, like I said, as long as this other person is understanding and willing to respect my wishes, my boundaries, and vice versa. And again, I'm speaking to you guys now. Okay? Find you somebody that is going to respect your boundaries. Not go against them and force you to create new ones. You know what I mean? Choose somebody that is going to keep watering you. And I mean genuinely watering you. And both of you guys are growing together, because a lot of people say when you're in a healthy relationship, you start saving money and you start to grow more and you start to elevate and stuff like that. That's not true all the time. That's not true all the time. Okay? Remember the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman? Right. That woman helped him build that firm and get all of, for him to do that to her. But ultimately, in the end, who got screwed? Right. But she loved that man unconditionally. You know what I mean? She didn't love him for his money. She sacrificed her whole entire life to commit to him and everything that he wanted to do. You know what I mean? For her to basically, in the beginning, she came out with absolutely nothing. She was a bitter woman, very upset, could not control her emotions whatsoever. You know what I mean? But when it all boiled down to it, she really didn't want him for his money. And even when that girl left, who was there? That woman that genuinely loved that man and really just wanted to see him happy. And even though he was putting her through so much pain. But eventually she found her love. She found her life partner. And she couldn't even love him at first. She really couldn't even love him at first. And that's a prime example of what I'm talking about. You know, you get in these marriages and it goes sour. And then you meet somebody new. You know, and you don't know if they're a life partner. She didn't know that was going to be her life partner. So she pushed him away because it was something that was uncommon for her. You know, because she was in this situation for so long of being married to this toxic man that did all of these things to her. And she kept finding out so many things after the marriage ended. You know what I'm saying? Of what he did. And it's just like she couldn't even allow this man to really love on her. But once she got that out the way, hence, once you go through your journey or whatever, you take accountability for everything. I'm talking about everything. And you make that clear decision, you know, you'll be able to find yourself, find your partner. Because that's not the journey that I'm on right now. But hopefully, you know, I'll find my life partner. You know what I mean? I feel like I already have, in a way. But she playing games. But we not gonna get into that or whatever. Because I just really want us ladies and men, you know, I'm not just gonna gear that to the ladies because there are men in situations that they don't want to be in either. You men gotta take good care of yourself too. I'm not just here advocating for women. I'm here advocating for anyone, you know what I mean, who can benefit from what I'm speaking of, anyone who can resonate with what I'm saying. You know, this is who I come up here and I speak for. So men, women, choose your partners wisely, okay? And if you choose to love them, okay, love unconditionally. Don't get into these marriages. Women, I'm speaking to both, okay? Don't get into these marriages just to be like, oh, well, Figure out your partner first. I'm going to say that again. Figure out your partner first. Figure out who you're dating. Because that's key in anything, in a friendship. But we talking about marriage or life partner. Which one would you rather have? And again, I want a life partner. I really do. Just somebody, like I said, and this may not last forever because somebody might just come and sweep me right off my feet. You know what I mean? But that's where I'm at with it now. So let me know where you are on the subject. You know, would you rather marriage or would you rather, you know, a life partner? Because I don't know. Marriage is a crazy thing. It really, 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 really is. So for anybody who is going through a tough time in your marriage or trying to figure out if you still want to be married, figuring out if you want to be married, I wish you all the best with that. But what I will say is if you need to take a step back, take a step back. Take a step back. Okay? If you can't afford a therapist, I'm not throwing out this therapy thing to everybody like they could afford it. I'm not saying that. Figure out something with your partner. Figure it out. Because if you don't figure it out with your partner, you or your partner are going to figure it out with someone else. And then you're both are going to be in regret, or one of you are going to be in regret because you didn't take the opportunity to tend to your partner's needs. Okay? Yeah? I really hope that y'all was really listening to me while I was talking. All right? Because I really want everyone to get to a point where they know exactly what they want. And they don't have to tiptoe around people's emotions and people's feelings, you know what I mean, to get something out of them or to get a certain result. And that's where I am right now too. I'm not tiptoeing around nothing. Okay? It is what it is. Don't waste my time. If you're going to come in my space, don't waste my time. That's it and that's all. Okay? I'm not apologizing for it. And yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm looking for a life partner and hopefully it turns into marriage. But marriage is not my goal with my next situation. So, again, ask yourself, would you rather marriage or a life partner? And if you are in a marriage, would you do it over again and choose a life partner? Or would you still get married? I want y'all to ask yourself that seriously because I need to know. I love love. I really do. And I'm really happy for the people who have found their partners and who live with genuine love. You understand me? I'm talking about day to day. They wake up, go to sleep with genuine love. They handle their problems before they go to sleep. Not saying they're perfect because no relationship is perfect, you know, but kudos to everybody figuring out their partners and getting it right with their person. I love that for y'all. Like, seriously. Can't wait till it happens for me. But I love that for y'all. Seriously. I really, really do. Like, I really, really love love. It may seem crazy to me that I'm so single, but I'm just so happy for other people. It's because, like, I just love to see people get it right. And I know I'm going to get it right. I know I'm going to get it right. Okay? So, life partner, where you at? Where you at? I'm waiting for you, okay? Now, you know I can't let you guys go anywhere without giving you guys some words of encouragement, okay? And the words of encouragement that I have for you on this episode, marriage or life partner, is if you're going to acquire either of the two, you have to know that you have to learn that person inside and out. You have to love unconditionally. You have to be compassionate. You have to be patient. And you have to be kind. You have to be empathetic. And you have to understand that you are going to have to grow with this person, not against this person. Okay? Remember that. Episode 16, you have been great, you guys, and I hope I resonated with someone. And as always, it's been my pleasure. Like, subscribe, share, comment. It's been your favorite Tata Beauty, Alasia, on the Tata Beauty Podcast. See you guys next time.